guys, so I'm just going over to a job now. It's a bit far out of the way, to be honest. It's in Northampton, but yeah, they've been recommended. I've been recommended to them loads, so they want to use me, so I'll just go over and do it. But basically they've said they've got a couple of issues. There's a radiator that isn't working. I think it's a towel rail that's not working, and apparently their toilet sounds like the Titanic when they flush it. So I'd imagine that's just one of the ball valves, or the ball valve's gone or making noises or whatever. But yeah, I'll show you I'll show you the radiator, and you know, if you have, say if you're apprentice or DIY that watch your channel or whatever, it might just help you out a bit, because there's normally a couple of reasons why it isn't working. So, you know, some people turn down the thermostats on their radiators in the summer because obviously you don't need all the rads on. So sometimes what can happen is when you turn the thermostatic valve off, the pin gets stuck. So that's one, that's one thing. Another is, could be an airlock. So I'll see if I can show you how to clear an airlock if it's that. But yeah, so let's get it. So to clear an airlock, what you want to do is turn the heating on full blast and turn all the rads that are getting hot or are already hot off. And then what that will do is that will push all the water round to the rad that isn't getting hot, and that should push all the air through and clear the blockage of air. So although I'm doing this isn't actually the issue. So I've opened that valve and I can tell that valve works, and there's good pressure behind it. But this one, on the other hand, I took it off of the rad and obviously nothing's coming out. So what I did is I bumped the pressure up a bit more, turned all the rads on that I turned off, and basically just waited. And then eventually, as you can see, it pushed all the crap out that was blocking the pipe, and yeah, all works fine now. Right then, so all the possibilities that I said earlier on, it was none of them. But yeah, so basically there would have been, because it was all on 10 or 8mm pipe, and then it went to 15 for that rad. So basically there would have been a manifold somewhere or an elbow or something with a little blockage in it. It was just letting a little bit of water by, because what I did is I turned off one of the valves to the radiator, opened the bleed, and it came shooting out of the bleed. So I thought, right, okay, that's that. And then turn that valve off, turn the other valve on, and yeah, it kind of just, it started to come out, and then the pressure just died down into like a dribble, and then it just stopped. So checked the isolator, make sure it was on, as there were two 15mm isolators on the pipes, and that was on. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll take it off and then try and blow down the pipe. It was a bit of a shot in the dark really, but yeah, I mean, I blew down the pipe and obviously didn't change anything. So I had a spare flexi hose that I took off of a pipe the other day because it was leaking. So just put the flexi hose on the radiator tail. Obviously took it off the rad first, put that on, and then put an isolator on the end of it, just so I can turn it off there rather than having to turn around and go next to the basin. So yeah, left that running and it was just dripping out of there. So I turned it off, left it for 10 minutes, turn it back on, there's a massive gush, and then it just went to nothing again. So I thought what I'd do is turn all the, because I turned all the radiators off in the house so that I could, in case it was an airlock, but obviously it wasn't that. So I turned them all back on, bumped the pressure up on the boiler just to help it push through a little bit more, and then after about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, I started to feel like a little bit of like movement in the pipe. You know, when, say if you got sludge or something hard in the pipe and it starts rattling around, well, it started to, I could feel somewhere on the pipe it was doing that. So kept it over a bucket and left the isolator on, and then eventually it just fucking gushed out, and yeah, it's all sorted. So So that was a job for a couple of customers that I've got in Milton Keynes, so it's a bit of a trek, but I'll try and look after them if I can. But over Christmas they sent me a message and said basically they've got a leak on a radiator, so I asked if I could go out and sort it, but I just had too much on, so I couldn't go out before Christmas, but just gone and sorted it for them. But yeah, it's obviously just the pin on the TRV started to let by, so yeah, got that swapped out. So that's a bit of a little trick. There's going to be some people in the comments that don't like, you know, the pinching of plastic, but when it saves you having to drain down the whole system, kind of is a bit more appealing. So yeah, a bit of a trick with the plastic. Probably wouldn't do it at 15, but I don't know. But yeah, 10mm plastic, just crimp it, and then so slacken the nut off of the valve, and then crimp the pipe, take the valve off, put the new valve on, tighten it up, hand tight, and then yeah, basically stick it on the rad and let go of the crimp, and saves you having to drain down. Especially with the addition of the plum thumbs. I got them for a Christmas present from Plumber, so used them for the first time today. So yeah, that really helped as well. Saves, you know, draining out the rad. Just take the valve off, stick one of them on the rad, stop any water coming out, and then crimp the pipe and take the valve and replace it. So that was a nice one, because they kept having a fault on the boiler for low pressure. So obviously that was the same, you know, that was the cause of that fault. So yeah, that was done. So yeah, just heading over to a job in Byfield where I live. They've got they want me to replace the radiator, kitchen tap, and sort out a like outside tap, because it's coming off the wall and it's been isolated and stuff. So I'll have a look into that, get that sorted. But yeah, on this job there's because the kitchen tap, the sink is a Belfast sink, so it's a bit more difficult to actually get to the tap like underneath the worktop. So what I'm going to try and do is basically take pull the Belfast out a little bit, just so I can get my hands in behind it and undo the tap, put the new one in, and then push it back in place. Because yeah, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest, but never mind. So this is a dripping tap, but so what I wanted to do is pull the Belfast forward to get to the tap, but annoyingly there's that little bump where the waste is, so unless the worktop came off I couldn't really do it. So I'm gonna, luckily I can just about get to the bit behind, but yeah, all changed and no more drips. Thanks for watching this week's video. I didn't really have a lot of footage because I didn't do too much work this past week. I've just been doing a couple of jobs here and there, and then spending the rest of the time at home. So yeah, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.